Have you ever walked into a room full of people and suddenly felt like every single person was looking at you, judging you, analyzing everything you say or do? Your heart starts racing, your mind goes blank, and the only thing you want to do is leave as quickly as possible. For some people, this feeling happens once in a while, but for others, it becomes a constant battle that quietly shapes their daily life. This experience is known as social anxiety, and millions of people struggle with it, even though it often goes unnoticed by everyone around them. Social anxiety is more than just shyness or feeling a little nervous before meeting new people. It's a deep and persistent fear of being judged, embarrassed, or rejected in social situations. People who deal with social anxiety overthink every interaction. Something as simple as speaking in a meeting, making a phone call, ordering food at a restaurant, or introducing themselves to someone new can feel overwhelming. Their mind begins to imagine worst-case scenarios. They worry about saying the wrong thing, looking awkward, or making a mistake that others will notice. Because of this constant fear, many people with social anxiety start avoiding situations that might trigger those feelings. They might skip social events, stay quiet during conversations, avoid eye contact, or decline opportunities that involve interacting with others. Over time, this avoidance can slowly shrink a person's world. Opportunities at work, friendships, relationships, and even simple daily experiences can be affected. The difficult part is that people around them may not always understand what is happening. From the outside, it might just look like someone is quiet, distant, or uninterested. But inside, they may be dealing with intense anxiety and self-doubt. To understand why social anxiety develops, we need to look at several different factors that shape how a person thinks, feels, and reacts to social situations. One important factor is a person's environment while growing up. Children who experience constant criticism, harsh judgment, or bullying may start believing that others are always evaluating them negatively. If a child is repeatedly told that they are awkward, embarrassing, or not good enough, those messages can slowly turn into deeply rooted beliefs. As they grow older, they may expect rejection even when it isn't actually happening. Another powerful influence is the social environment around us. Humans are naturally sensitive to how others perceive them, but in certain surroundings, the pressure to appear perfect can become extremely strong. In competitive schools, demanding workplaces, or social groups that focus heavily on status and appearance, people may feel like they are constantly being evaluated. When this pressure builds up over time, even normal social interactions can start to feel like high-stakes performances, where one small mistake might lead to embarrassment. Our lifestyle habits can also play a role in how our mind handles anxiety. Poor sleep, irregular routines, and high levels of stress can make the brain more reactive to fear. When the body is already tired or overwhelmed, the nervous system becomes more sensitive. That means situations that might normally cause mild nervousness can suddenly trigger much stronger anxiety responses. Diet can influence this as well. Large amounts of caffeine, sugar spikes, or highly processed foods can affect mood stability and increase physical symptoms like racing heartbeats or restlessness, which can make social anxiety feel even more intense. Technology and social media have introduced another layer of pressure in modern life. When people constantly see carefully edited photos, polished personalities, and highlight reels of others' lives online, it can create unrealistic standards. Many individuals start comparing themselves to these images and feel like they don't measure up. When this comparison builds up over time, even normal social interactions can start to feel like high-stakes performances. Past experiences also shape how our brain interprets social situations. If someone once experienced humiliation, rejection, or public embarrassment, the brain may store that memory as a warning signal. Later, when a similar situation appears, the brain reacts quickly to protect the person from repeating that painful experience. The problem is that the brain sometimes becomes overly protective. It begins treating normal conversations or harmless interactions as potential threats, triggering anxiety even when there is no real danger. There are also biological elements involved. Some people naturally have more sensitive nervous systems. Their brain's fear center, often called the amygdala, may react more strongly to social threats. This doesn't mean anything is wrong with them. It simply means their brain processes social signals with greater intensity. When this natural sensitivity combines with stressful experiences, social anxiety can become more likely. One of the most powerful patterns that keeps social anxiety alive is overthinking. After a conversation ends, someone with social anxiety might replay every moment in their mind. They might analyze their words, facial expressions, or tone of voice, and assume that others noticed every tiny mistake. In reality, most people are too busy thinking about their own lives to focus that deeply on someone else's behavior. But when the mind keeps searching for flaws, it can create the illusion that social interactions always go badly. Even though social anxiety can feel overwhelming, the encouraging news is that it can improve with small, consistent changes. One helpful step is gradually facing social situations rather than avoiding them completely. Avoidance might provide temporary relief, but it also teaches the brain that social situations are dangerous. When someone slowly exposes themselves to small interactions, like greeting a coworker, asking a simple question, or making brief conversation, the brain begins learning that these moments are manageable. Another powerful strategy involves changing the way we talk to ourselves internally. Many people with social anxiety have a very harsh inner voice that constantly criticizes them. They might think things like, "I sounded stupid," or "everyone must think I'm awkward." Learning to question these thoughts can reduce their power. Asking simple questions like, "What evidence do I actually have for this belief?" or "Could there be another explanation?" can help the mind develop more balanced thinking patterns. Mindfulness can also make a big difference. Social anxiety often pulls attention into the future or the past. The mind imagines upcoming embarrassment or replays previous interactions. Mindfulness gently brings attention back to the present moment. Focusing on breathing, physical sensations, or the environment around us can calm the nervous system and reduce the spiral of anxious thoughts. Building confidence in social skills can help as well. Many people assume that confident individuals are simply born that way, but social confidence is actually a skill that develops through practice. Learning simple communication habits like active listening, maintaining relaxed body language, and asking open-ended questions can make conversations feel more natural. When people notice that interactions are going smoothly, their confidence slowly grows. Lifestyle habits should not be ignored either. Regular physical activity has been shown to reduce anxiety and improve mood by releasing natural chemicals in the brain that support emotional balance. Getting consistent sleep helps regulate stress hormones, making the body less reactive to anxious triggers. Even small changes like reducing excessive caffeine or maintaining a balanced diet can stabilize energy levels and prevent the physical symptoms that sometimes mimic anxiety. Another helpful approach is building supportive relationships. Talking openly with trusted friends, family, or mentors can reduce the feeling of facing anxiety alone. Often, people are surprised to discover that others have experienced similar struggles. Knowing that someone understands can make social challenges feel far less intimidating. Professional support can also be incredibly valuable. Therapies that focus on understanding thought patterns and gradually facing fears have helped many people significantly reduce social anxiety. A trained professional can guide individuals through techniques that retrain the brain to respond differently to social situations. It is also important to remember that progress with social anxiety rarely happens overnight. Change usually happens in small steps. Someone who once avoided every social event might begin by staying for just 10 minutes. Someone who feared speaking in meetings might start by sharing a short comment. Each small step teaches the brain that growth is possible.
Many people who once struggled deeply with social anxiety eventually develop strong communication skills and meaningful relationships. The journey often involves patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to move slightly outside the comfort zone again and again. What once felt impossible can slowly become normal. If you recognize some of these experiences in your own life, know that you are far from alone. Social anxiety affects millions of people across the world, even though many of them appear calm and confident on the outside. Understanding what is happening in the mind is often the first step towards change. When we learn how anxiety works, we begin to realize that these feelings are not a personal weakness, but a pattern the brain has learned over time. With awareness, supportive habits, and gradual practice, that pattern can begin to shift. Conversations can start feeling less